Hi, I'm Andre, and it's time for another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode recap. Turtle Power. Yes, the Turtles are back on Nickelodeon. The show moved from 11 a.m. on Sundays to 9 a.m. on Sundays. They're taking it back. It's like Saturday morning cartoons on Sunday morning. But what an episode to come back on. The Super Shredder, oh my goodness. So we've seen from the last few episodes that Shredder has been on his deathbed, basically, trying to stay alive, trying to survive, and Baxter Stockman has been pumping small amounts of mutagen in him to keep him alive. But Shredder can't wait any longer. He wants to get up. He wants his vengeance. So he tells Baxter to just pour all the mutagen inside of his body, all of it at once. And of course, this turns him into a monstrous beast, part mutant, part man, part monster. He becomes the Super Shredder. This is obviously a nod to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, when Shredder drank the last vial of mutagen and turned into a giant Super Shredder. But it's not just a beefed up Shredder with a Kevin Nash body. Oh no, he's got blades coming out all over his body. His helmet is fused with his face. You can see like the lines of skin between his mouth. He's got his chest wide open. You can actually see his heart, and it's like a purple glowing heart on his chest. It is a monstrous design. And once Super Shredder is up and running, he has one goal, and that is vengeance. He wants revenge against the Turtles, and especially against Splinter, particularly because Splinter has finally convinced Karai that he is the true father of her, and she's now kind of sided more with Splinter than with Shredder. And Shredder's like, look, I raised you all these years. I fed you, I changed your diapers, I took you to your first school. We had that talk about the birds and the bees. When I mutated birds and mutated bees, then this rat gonna show up and be like, I'm your daddy, you just gonna leave and go to the sewers? That's not how it's gonna work on Shredder's watch. Which I had to set back because it was daylight savings time when our episode came on. Even for me, Andre, that was a bad joke. The Turtles are watching a Chris Bradford cartoon marathon. What I particularly love is that Razar, who was Chris Bradford, is also watching the same marathon. He's sitting there lying on his stomach with his feet propped up, eating popcorn, going, I remember this episode. This is one of the 5 favorite episodes according to the fan sites. I thought that was a cute little thing. But the fun soon ends when a power outage goes out through the city, leading all the way up to Shredder's old lair. That's of course where Karai and Shinigami are hanging out. So the whole team goes to meet up with Karai to have a father-daughter reunion with Super Shredder walking in. Karai and Shinigami try to fight Super Shredder, of course, to no avail. Shinigami is just slapped to the side. And it was brutal, man. Super Shredder is fighting Karai. She turns into Snake Karai to try to fight him. He grabs her while she's a snake and just slams her to the ground. It's a close-up shot of him just going, He's just like, that's your daughter, And Super Shredder is just delusional at this point. I don't know if it's because of the mutagen or just because of his feelings or a mix of the two, but he's still telling Karai, I am your father, Hamato Yoshi. He killed your mother. You are my daughter. Seriously, we'll go on Maury Povich right now. I'll prove it. They'll bring the envelope out and everything. Trust me. She's like, fool, have you not been watching this season? We've been through this. I'm good. I know you're a liar. Why do you keep trying? So Super Shredder's like, well, if you're not gonna believe me, then I'm just gonna capture you. And so Karai is once again captured by the other bad guys. It's just a running theme with this season, huh? Karai gets captured. Karai talks a lot of smack. Karai gets in the fight. Karai loses fight. Karai gets captured. Turtles show up to save the day. But this is not just a Karai kidnapping. No, Shredder's got a whole plan. And it's like a creepy, weird, very thought out, like demented type of plan. Because when Splinter and the Turtles go to try to find out where Karai is, he's literally got pictures up in the sewers, old photos of Hamato Yoshi with Tang Shin, of a baby Karai, and then once they walk into the room and he sees the photos, they all get caught on fire and start burning up. There's even a picture of Hamato Yoshi with his eyes crossed out, which even Michelangelo said that would be weird if we saw that, and then he sees that. Shredder spent a lot of time putting this together just to burn everything up. That's just weird. They're in the subway, so eventually they have to split up. Splinter goes off to Super Shredder while the Turtles have to deal with all the rest of the villains. Splinter and Shredder have this fight and it's intense. Splinter eventually finds Karai, but Super Shredder comes out. Splinter's like, man, dude, I'm a rat and that's messed up. And the fight that they go through is really tough and intense. And you know, Splinter, he's a really good fighter, but even he can't stack up to Super Shredder. Super Shredder is hurting him bad. So Splinter has to use that little smoke bomb to get away. And then Splinter eventually gets Super Shredder to the place where Splinter fought the Rat King, the place where it's got all the different pillars. And he's using that to be able to hide himself. But Super Shredder has super senses, so he can hear Splinter, he can feel his warmth. It's just crazy how Super Shredder is just so enhanced. The Turtles have fights on a train, which apparently have no people on it when they crash, and then go and rejoin Splinter, and they're seeing this fight take place. They're trying to help, but they can't help because the other part of the plan is that Shredder has sent out those new robots, those new foot soldiers that look like the super elite ninja. So the Turtles are fighting them while Splinter is getting his butt kicked by Super Shredder. There's one point where Super Shredder knocks Splinter to the ground, and then Super Shredder takes his monstrous foot and just slams down on Splinter's foot, and you see Splinter go, ah! And I'm just like, ah! So Splinter realizes that there's no way of stopping Super Shredder, so he does the unthinkable. He knocks out one of the pillars that they are on, and it starts to fall down. Super Shredder tries to jump off of it to grab another pillar, and Splinter grabs him and says, if I'm gonna die, you coming with me. And they both fall down into this cloud of smoke. The Turtles are freaking out. No, Sensei, Master Splinter! But Splinter and Shredder are supposedly gone. Donatello says there's no way they can survive that. It's literally 1,000 feet. There's a few episodes left, so I'm gonna see how this plays out. And just when the Turtles are about to figure out what to do next, another explosion happens, and you see Rocksteady and Bebop and a bunch of elite foot ninjas. It stops at that moment, so we don't know if they've captured them. We don't know if they're gonna get another fight going on at the beginning of the next episode. Man, the turtle feels, man. Hashtag turtle feels on this one. It was a very straightforward episode, but man, just seeing that Super Shredder and just how grotesque and insane it looks to see Super Shredder and Splinter have this very intense fight. The Turtles fighting was also really good in this episode. This was a very well done animated episode and a really intense episode with all the fighting, which makes it weird that it came on at 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, at 2 in the afternoon, you can see SpongeBob going, or some ducks throwing around bread, but at 9 in the morning, you're getting some hardcore, emotional storylines and intense fighting and action from Ninja Turtles. Nickelodeon, I don't understand you. What, you gotta move them so Henry Danger can have 2 hours of episodes? Oh man, I miss the days of Rocko's Modern Life. If you saw this episode, let me know what you thought about it. And are you going to pick up the obvious Super Shredder toy that will eventually be in stores? Thanks for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please subscribe because I make new videos all week, every week, including Ninja Turtle recaps. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000. Chain Chomp Yomp.